Alright, hello guys, welcome to my channel, Mr. Ade Ayo Bet Predict. It has been a very long time since we posted a video on this particular channel. I'm very sorry for being away for a while. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about one of the best strategy that you can use across all sports. Actually, in recent times, most of the games that we've been seeing on football are mostly friendly games, and some people are winning through that and some people are losing their games on it because when we are talking about friendly games, it is not most times in friendly games key players, they are not, sometimes they don't use all the key players in most of the friendly games. They use friendly games to test maybe new signings, to check their performances, and sometimes there are some people that are very lucky playing the friendly games. Now, my advice for that particular friendly games aspect is just that make sure that you go for double chance for teams that you know that they are very good. Now, the strategy that I'm going to talk about is just the over points in any sport games, either tennis, basketball, football, baseball, handball, cricket, and so many more like that. But the one that we are going to focus in today's video is baseball. I'm very sure some of us we don't know the rules, and to be sincere, I personally I don't know the rules about baseball. But let's check the total number of games that we have on it. If you observe very well, you can see that in recent times, apart from tennis and football, some sport games that we have enough fixtures on them also are baseball and sometimes ice hockey, but we are focusing on baseball in today's video, and they have been, the bookmaker, the odds that the bookmakers always offer on baseball to when it comes to over points, they are also, amazing. Now, without wasting much of our time, I'm going to do some analysis and I'm going to explain how it works, even though you don't understand the rule of this particular baseball games. I've been trying to test this particular strategy for a while before I decided to make it to display it on this particular platform for you people, because I've been exploring so many sports games for a few days now, and some of it are negative and some of it are positive. So the positive aspect of it is what I'm going to just uh relate to you guys in this particular video. Now let us check the baseball aspect. So this is baseball. In case you don't know, it is a particular sport game that they use. I don't know how it works, so but I shall know that these people they use a baton, and they have their own rules. But all I'm concerned about baseball is their over point. And how do I get my over point? Even though I don't know how this game work, I only know that what I just observed is that I observed their trends, and I decided to start applying a statistics method on it and to derive the hypothesis of the total figures of points that you can predict on baseball. Now let's check. Let's check the games. So sometimes, I don't, let me say sometimes, almost every day, we always have games on baseball in recent times. As a result of most of our football games are on break. Basketball games, we don't have enough games to play on them because there are no except during the weekend, maybe when the Australian leagues are playing their games. That's when most times that I always have the opportunity to play basketball. And football, most times I only play my games on all these friendly games, and I've not been focusing well on it. But I have friends that are winning back to back on friendly games. Now, without wasting much of our time, I'm going to first uh, evaluate some games that they've played on baseball, and let's see if the hypothesis is right or wrong. So, in today's game, let's check. All right, now, so for easy navigation, I want you guys to put your screen, what you're watching, on full screen now, because I'm going to divert it from the landscape mode so that it will be easy for us to navigate around this particular platform. All right, so now let's check. We have USA League and they've played at least 3 games out of it. Now, I want you guys to know something. In baseball, sometimes, most times, when you are looking at their points, the outcome, you'll be seeing like maybe 4 to 5 4, maybe 10-4, and sometimes you'll be seeing points that are over 15, probably maybe 16 points in total for the whole games. And if you check the 3 games that I highlighted for you guys, you are going to see over 8 there. You are going to see over 5 there. That is how baseball works. But there are some games that you are going to see like under 3 in baseball. Yes, it happens. These games involves human activities and things like that happens very well. Now I'm going to click on each and every single of these games that you guys are seeing on your screen that they've played already, and I'm going to check their stats, and we are going to do the evaluation together. Now let's start with the first game that you're seeing. But before I start evaluating it, I would like to propose to you guys the hypothesis and the assumption around this particular strategy that we are talking about. And I'm going to explain further how you can keep using it, because I'm going to show you the odds that the bookmakers are providing in the market. For example, when it comes to sporty bets and other bets platform like that. Now let's check the okay, yes, before I check the stats, this is what I do when it comes to baseball. The only games that I play are games that when I realize that the both teams that are involved at least have won 3 games out of the last 5 games. When we have 3 wins and they lost 2 or maybe above. What I just do is that I check the smallest point they had in the last 5 games, and my focus are only on game teams that they only teams that have won at least 3 games out of the last 5 games. I check the smallest point that they've had. Then the smallest point is what you add together, and then you move on to your bet platform and you stake your game. But if the bookmakers are not providing the market, I would just advise you guys to stay away from it. But trust me, you can be getting a very big odds from baseball too. Now let me show you something now. For this particular game, if you are to look at it very well, so in the last 5 games for the home team, which is Atlanta Braves, you can see this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the last 5 games, and you guys are seeing on the screen, right? Now let us check the smallest point that they've had in this particular last 5 games. So to look at it, we can see that their smallest point is when they lost by 8 to 3 points, and the smallest point there that you guys can see is 3 points, right? Now let us check the away team. The away team, which is Miami Marlins. So we have to check the last 5 games also. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And don't forget, guys, one of the criteria that you guys need to look into is that, because for it to be easy for you, you have to make sure that the teams that you are doing your analysis on, at least they've won 3 out of their games. And we can see that the home teams, which is Atlanta, they've lost just 1 game out of the last 5 games. And for the away team, which is Miami Marlins, they've won at least 3 games out of their last 5 games, and that is the reason why we are doing the analysis on them. And don't forget, the smallest point that the home team had happens to be 3 points, and let us check the smallest point that the away team had right here. So if we are to look at it, the away team lost 2 games, which is here and here, and we should look at the smallest point they had in those 2 games. And if we are to look at it very well, we can see that it is 2 points. Now when we are adding the 3 points for the home team and the 2 points for the away team, we can see that that is 5 points. For me, sometimes I can just decide to say that I want to go for over 4.5 for the baseball or over 5.5. Assuming you go for assuming that this game they haven't played it and you decide to play it as over 4.5, you are going to win your game. And also, if you decide to play it as over 5.5, which is the figure that we got from the analysis, you are still going to win the game, but it will be a very tiny winning. Though in sports betting we cannot always win our games, but at least we should always look for something that will really work out for us. In recent times, I've been trying to test some strategies, some weird, you know, very weird strategies. Sometimes first half over 1.5, and some of it are giving me negative results, and that is the reason why most times I've been staying back with dropping games. But when it comes to baseball, I'm still going to give you further explanation on it. Let us check other games that we are seeing on the screen before we can conclude on predicting, or maybe probably going for the prediction of the baseball, if the bookmakers are going to provide the market. And if they did not provide the market for the baseball or for the total figures that we've gotten, you can however look for other leagues, other bet platform that will offer us the market that we are looking for. Now if you check the let's just check these teams also out, these fixtures also. Let's check if at least, okay, if we should check the last 5 games here, we can see that at least the home team won 3 games out of the last 5 previous games. And let's check the away team. Okay, same thing goes with the away team. Now let us check their smallest point that they've had in in the last 5 games. So this is the last 5 games of the away team, and the smallest point the away team had in the last 5 games happens to be 3. If you guys check it very well. Now let us check for the home team. In the last 5 games, the smallest point that the home team had, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Okay, this is the last 5 games, right? And the smallest point that the home team had happens to be 1. Now let's assume that we are adding 3 and 1 together, which is giving us 4. Then trust me guys, the proper prediction for the games that you want is over 4.5 or over 3.5 when it comes to baseball. And that is only if the bookmakers are going to provide you with the market. So that's it. Now let us check the third match which they have played already. So okay, unfortunately, had this been they haven't played these games at all, I would have advised you guys to avoid this. And this is what I'm telling you guys about baseball. Sometimes things that occurs are like this. You guys are seeing over 10.5 points, over 15 points, over so many more like that. But unfortunately, there are some situations whereby the game can end up as under 3.5 points in baseball. So the results in baseball are always fluctuating, but you just have to stick to a particular strategy or hypothesis. Now we have games that they haven't played at all, and these games are what we are going to do the analysis on, like fresh, and we are going to check if the bookmakers are going to provide us with the market. Please, if you are watching this video, make sure that you put it on the full screen so that you'll be able to see everything that we are doing very well. Now let us move on to the fresh games, and let's see if we are going to have something to predict on in today's video. All right, now, so we have the match between Chicago Cubs and St. Louis. Let's check the stats and let's see if we can go for prediction under these particular games. Now, if you look at it very well, at least the home team won 3 games out of the last 5 games. Okay, for the start of the home team, we can go for the analysis. Now, the next thing that we want to do for the home team is to check the smallest point they had in the last 5 games. And the smallest point I'm currently seeing here is where they lost by 7-1. So it is 1 point. So we have 1 point for the home teams. Now let us check the away team in the last 5 games. So checking the away team, the smallest point the away team had in the last 5 games happens to be 3, where they lost by 6-3. Now adding, if we are to add 3 and 1 together, that is 4. Now the problem here is that with the bookmakers provide us the markets that we want for this particular game in baseball, which is over 4.5. Let us check the market and let's see. So we want to predict this particular match, Chicago Cubs as over 4.5, but the suggested prediction by the bookmakers happens to be 7.5 at odd of 1.96 odd. Actually, this is a very big odd, and this is in this particular baseball thing of a thing. Something like this can actually happen, which is over 7.5, and you are going to get 1.96 odd won successfully. But let us stick to our assumption and our strategy, which is over 4.5. But unfortunately, let us check if the bookmakers are going to provide it. Looking at it closely, you can see that the smallest market that these particular bookmakers are providing us happens to be 5.5, and the accurate market that meets up with the analysis happens to be over 4.5. Now imagine we are having 1.41 odd for over 5.5. Probably we can see a bookmakers that will offer us the market of over 4.5. Surely we should be getting something like an odd of probably maybe 1.25 odd or 1.30 odd, something like that, or very close to that, 1.30 something odd. So unfortunately, I won't advise you guys to take the risk of going for over 5.5, because the match can actually end up as exactly 5.5 5 points total points in that particular game. Let us quickly check the next game if probably we are going to see the opportunity of, you know, other markets like this, whereby they provide us the markets for the over 4.4. That is Detroit Tigers. Let us check the start here. So unfortunately, these particular games did not meet the requirements for predicting it as over, because if you look at it very well, the bookmakers are providing us the odd for over 4.4, and if you notice very well, these teams, they have been losing their games very well, and the smallest point that they've had happens to be 0 points, and that is very worst. So let us skip this and let's look for something else. Okay, in this particular start, the home team is currently kind of in form because they won at least 30 games out of the last 5 games. And let us check the away team. Okay, yes, the away team also won 4 games out of the last 5 games. Okay, perfect. Now let us check the smallest point that both home and away had in the last 5 games. Guys, don't forget, I told you something. In baseball, you can have a very big, points outcome. For example, you can have 17 points, you can have many more points, and at the same time you can have the smallest points ever. So as I was saying, at the same times you can have the smallest point ever. So make sure that you are following the steps accurately. And please, if you are just joining us, make sure that you subscribe to this particular channel and like our video. In case you have any comment regarding our most of our content, you can drop it in the comment section. Now let us move on. So we are going to look at the smallest point for these two teams, and let's see what we have. So in the last 5 previous games that they had, the smallest point that me I'm seeing here happens to be 4. If I'm right, yes, happens to be 4, right? For the home team. Now for the away team, the smallest point they had happens to be, let's check. Okay, happens to be 5. Good. So currently now we are having 5 and 4. Let's assume that we want to add 5 and 4 together and we are getting 9. Okay. Proper naturally what we should predict this particular game is supposed to be over 9.5, but for me I like to go for something safe. Let's see if the bookmakers are going to provide over 9.5 points for this particular baseball match, or any figures that is below that 9.5. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see we can have. Let's see if the bookmakers are going to provide us with that. Okay. Okay. Fortunately, the bookmakers provide us with over 9.5 at odd of 2.41 odd. We have some people that can at least combine maybe 5. If we can get 5 odds like this, 5 games that provide that offer this kind of odds like this, and we stake affordable amount on it, we are good to go. But let us decide to go for over 8. Okay, so we are going for over 8.5 at odd of 1.93 odd for this particular match. Now, another thing that you guys can also consider is the last previous meeting. Yes, their performances with other teams and their last previous meeting can also be considered. But for now, in this video, I'm not considering their last previous games. But further explanation on that will be made in the next video. But for now, we are focusing on the last previous games with other teams. Now let us check the last game that we have under the USA MLB. Let's see. So the last game under the USA is Washington and Milwaukee. So let's check the head to head and let's see if we have something good. Okay, unfortunately, the teams that are involved in this particular start are not informed, so we are skipping this particular match. Let's see. Okay, we have Japan game. Let's see their trends. So don't forget what I told you guys in baseball. There are some leagues that sometimes if you play them, you'll be losing your games, and there are some things that when you consider, that is the purpose of strategy, that they will restrict you to a certain criteria and certain rules. Because if you look at this Japan league very well now, you are going to realize that common thing that occur there is around that 3 points. If you look at it very well, if you look at it very well, 1 point, you see. So that is the reason why you have to stick to a particular strategy that will guide you. Imagine that I want to predict this particular game. Look at it very well. Don't forget the first rule about this particular strategy is that go for games that at least both home and away they've won 3 games out of their last 5 games. Yes, these two teams have won 3 games, at least 3 games out of their last 5 games. Now let's assume that we want to do our analysis on it. If you look at it very well, the smallest point that the home team had happens to be 0 points. Yes, and the smallest point that the away team had in the last 5 games happens to be 1 point. Now adding 0 with 1 give us 1. If I want to predict this particular game, I would rather go for over 1.5 or over 0.5. Now let us check if the bookmakers will provide the over 0.5 total points in baseball for this particular match or not. So unfortunately, the smallest point that bookmakers are providing here happens to be the 5.5, and I don't think it will be very easy for us to go for other leagues like this except for the USA leagues in baseball. Let us further check if we can have some top leagues in baseball that we can do our analysis on, but probably maybe on other bet platform, maybe the bookmakers are going to provide you guys with you know small points that are more safe compared to the one that we are currently having in this particular bet platform of sports bet. Now let's check. It seems like it is not easy to the bookmakers here. They are not providing safe markets for the over point for other leagues except for the USA league. So if you have any other bet platform that they will provide you with markets that are more safe and meet the requirements that you've done, and maybe the analysis that you've done, you can just go for them. Maybe you can explore one xbet, bet power, and many other bet platforms like that that you like. So guys, thanks for watching. If you like our video, please kindly click on the like button. Please, your comments, your opinion, your suggestions are very important in order to fashion the best or content for you guys. Please, if you have any questions or any opinion regarding our strategies, our content, please kindly drop it in the comment section. The only games that I'm able to predict for you guys in this particular videos happens to be this particular game under the USA League, because the bookmakers here, they are not providing the markets that meet the analysis, and that's why we are having just one game on baseball in this particular bet platform. But if you have any other bet platform of your choice, you can explore it if probably they are going to provide the market that you want. So thanks for watching guys. See you guys in the next video. This is Adia, your bet predict. In the next video you know we will further improve this particular strategy in this to the extent that we are going to have some additional rules that will guide how you are going to select your games in baseball. But for basketball, I have a strategy already, but I want most of our major leagues in basketball to start before we administrate this particular strategy on it. So thanks for watching. See you guys in the next video. Bye.